Hello, namaskar, namaskara, namaskaram, namaskar. My name is Pooja Dwivedi. Welcome to my class, The Map Insights. I have already covered 6 classes. You can find the playlist on the studyIQ IAS English channel for that. In today's class, we are going to discuss in detail these many important topics that have been in the news since the past 1 week. This is a weekly series, so you're in for a lot of information today. First of all, I would like to tell you that do not worry about making notes because I provide you the notes through the form of PDF that I'm using on my Telegram channel that is by the name of Pooja Dwivedi UPSC. If you have anything to discuss with respect to the UPSC examination, you can also contact me on my Instagram. Let's move forward and try to solve the practice question that I gave to you to solve. I wouldn't be able to take the names of those students who have answered it correctly due to paucity of time, but the upcoming practice question, make sure you answer it. I will take your names in the upcoming segment after that. Consider the following countries: Turkey, Romania, Bulgaria, Georgia. How many of the above mentioned countries have a border with the Black Sea? So for that we need a map. This map is going to show us that the Black Sea has borders with 6 countries. In a clockwise direction, if we go from Ukraine, first is Ukraine, then we have Russia, then Georgia 3, Turkey 4, Bulgaria 5, Romania is 6. So there are 6 countries that are bordering the Black Sea. Now, if we have to select the correct answer from this, Turkey, Romania, Bulgaria, Georgia, all 4 are bordering the Black Sea. So the correct answer will be option D, all 4. Let's move ahead. An earthquake with the magnitude 6.3 has struck the capital of Colombia, Bogota. Not a lot of people have died, but a woman, while vacating her residence, fell to her death. So this is Bogota, where the earthquake has occurred. It was a massive earthquake. So we have to understand it from the perspective of your examination that Andes Mountain, they span through these countries, and that is why, because of the past and the terrainous region of it, we will understand that this region is very vulnerable to earthquake. So here is Colombia and here is Bogota. So let's talk about this question. Consider the following countries: Bolivia, Colombia, Ecuador, and Brazil. How many of the above mentioned countries have an expanse of the Andes Mountains? So we will discuss Andes Mountains first. Andes Mountains, it is the longest chain of mountains in South America. Outside Asia, it is the highest mountain range, with Mount Aconcagua being the highest peak, and it is in Argentina with a height of 6959 meter above sea level. The Andes Mountains range through many countries. First is Venezuela, then we have Colombia, then Ecuador, then Peru, Bolivia, Argentina, and Chile. So, how many countries are there? 7. Argentina 1, Chile 2, Bolivia 3rd, Peru 4th. 5th is Ecuador, 6th is Colombia, and 7th is Venezuela. Alright, I hope you understood that. And because of the orogenic process, the plates here in the western coast of South America remain very volatile. Okay. Now, as I have already told you this, I hope I can move forward with the answer. So Bolivia, Ecuador, Colombia, but not Brazil, have an expanse of the Andes Mountain. So 1, 2, 3 will be the correct answer, 3 only. Moving on, other things that we have to know about it is that the summit of Mount Chimborazo, which is in Ecuadorian Andes, here, it will interest you to know that it is the point on the Earth's surface which is most distant from its center because of the equatorial bulge. As Mount Chimborazo, as you can see, it is situated near the equator. Because of the equatorial bulge, the bulge that the Earth has at equator, this is the reason why it is the most distant from the center of the Earth. Okay, so if it is asked in your preliminary examination, be very mindful of that. Russia has struck various ports on the Danube River. Danube River, through which Ukraine was trying to supply food grains. Recently, we understood that Russia withdrew from the Black Sea grain deal, which gave a good amount of corridor, safe passage to Ukraine to supply the food grains through the Black Sea. Historically, Ukraine has used the Black Sea in order to do that from different ports of Odessa, Chornomorsk, and Yuzhny. But after the withdrawal, these ports have also been struck by Russia. So now Ukraine was trying to supply the food grains through different channels from the Danube River. That is why Danube River is important for us to know. Which of the following is not correct with respect to the Danube River? It is the second longest river in Europe. Most of the delta lies within Romania, but some of its northern fringes are most recently formed areas in Ukraine as well. Ukraine has historically not used the Danube for grain exports. The Sulina Channel lies completely in Ukraine. So what do we have to select? The incorrect statement. The first statement is definitely correct, that it is the second longest river in Europe. The longest river of Europe is Volga. But if we talk about just the European Union, it is the Danube River, which is the longest in the European Union. That means through the countries of the European Union, most of the delta actually lies in Romania. But earlier, but more recently, we are finding that certain fringes are being formed in Ukraine as well. So, first is correct, second is also correct. It would interest you to know that Ukraine doesn't, and Ukraine hasn't used the channels from the Danube River to supply food grains historically. So, third is also correct. Option C is also correct. But the Sulina channel actually lies entirely in Romania, which is a distributary of the Danube River. The Sulina port was also struck by Russia. Okay, so option D will be the correct answer because here it is written Ukraine, but it is in Romania. So the Danube River, it actually originates by the amalgamation of two rivers in Germany's Black Forest, and then it travels like this, passing through 10 countries at least. And the basin is extending to more than 10 countries. It also passes through the capitals of various European countries, including Vienna of Austria, Bratislava of Slovakia, Budapest of Hungary, Belgrade of Serbia, and so on. So how many countries through which it passes, as in apart from the basin? First is Germany, then we have Austria, then Slovakia, Hungary, Croatia, Serbia, Bulgaria, Romania, Moldova, and Ukraine. So 10 countries are there. Then it finally goes into the Black Sea. All right. And Danube River is a very important river of Europe. It has been in the news, so make sure you know things about it. Okay. So I've already told you this. Basin countries also include Poland, Switzerland, Italy, Czech Republic, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Macedonia, Montenegro, and the rest. Moving on to the next part of it is that Sulina channel. Here, as you can see, Sulina is a distributary of the river Danube and it lies entirely in Romania. Alright, let's move forward. Africa's Sahel, which is home to some of the poorest countries in the world, has once again become a part of a big crisis. As we know, that certain countries, specifically the recent events, have thrown a light that most of the countries in Sahel are becoming coup countries. That means where military rule is occurring. Specifically, if we talk about Mali, Niger, Nigeria, Chad, Sudan, Eritrea, Mauritania, Senegal, these are the Burkina Faso, these are the certain Sahel countries. And we have a question with respect to that. Which of the following is not a part of the G5 Sahel? What is the G5 Sahel? This is a group of 5 Sahel countries which forms a regional bloc so that the security of Sahel is maintained. Chad, Mali, Niger, Nigeria. Okay, so the correct answer to this question will be arrived at with the help of this particular map. This map is going to show us the G5. G5 consists of the G5 Sahel region, Mauritania, Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, and Chad, but not Nigeria. So the correct answer is option D, that is Nigeria. These kind of questions could definitely come in your examination. Moving on, which of the following doesn't have a coastline with the Mediterranean Sea? Because Israel and the West Bank issue has become so recurrent, it can be asked from the perspective of the Mediterranean Sea. So Syria, Israel, Lebanon, and Jordan. As we can see, this is the Mediterranean Sea, and it consists of many countries as its bordering countries. So from the given options, we have to look at which country doesn't open out to the Mediterranean Sea. That means doesn't have a coastline. So as you can see, Israel has a coastline, so does Lebanon, and so does Syria, but not Jordan. Jordan doesn't have a coastline with the Mediterranean Sea. Alright, so that makes option D to be the correct answer. Moving on. Now, there is another issue that has arisen between Israel and Lebanon, and that is the issue of Gajar village. It's not the Gajar that we eat, but a village. Okay, and the Gajar village is now becoming a big dispute. And Sheba Farms has also been a dispute. So, now if we look at the question for it, Gajar is a disputed area between Israel and Syria, Jordan and Syria, Lebanon and Israel, and Lebanon and Syria. The correct answer will be Lebanon and Israel. As you can see, here is the Al-Gajar village between Israel and Lebanon. Alright, moving on. The worst armed clashes in a year have killed 55 people in Libya's Tripoli, Libya's capital Tripoli. And here is Libya, and here is the capital Tripoli, which is a coastal capital in the Mediterranean Sea. Here only the clashes have taken place. Arrange the capitals of the African countries from east to west. That means from here to there. Okay. Cairo, Tripoli, Tunis, Rabat. To answer this question, we of course have to know which countries they belong to. Cairo is of Egypt, Tripoli, Libya, Tunis, Tunisia, and Rabat, Morocco. So let us see this particular map which is going to help us. First, of course, will be Cairo over here, which is the capital of Egypt. Then we have Tripoli, the capital of Libya. Then we have Tunis, the capital of Tunisia. For Algeria, we have Algiers, but it is not in our option. And finally, we have Rabat, which is of Morocco. So the correct answer will be, first we will have Cairo, then Tripoli, then Tunis, and finally Rabat. 1, 2, 3, 4 will be the correct answer. That is option C. Option C is the correct answer. On Friday, the Himachal Pradesh government has declared a massive damage caused by heavy rains, and the Himachal Pradesh area is specifically a state of natural calamity right now. It has been declared so. So it is important for us to know that what is actually happening in Himachal Pradesh, specifically if we talk about Shimla. So let us see the question. Consider the following statements. Shimla shares a border with Chamba, Kinnaur and Kullu, but not Mandi. The Satluj River enters India through the Shipkila Pass in Uttarakhand. The Gobind Sagar on river Bias has been created by the huge hydel dam at Bhakra. So we have to see how many statements given above are correct. To answer this question, we have to look at this particular map. As we see that Shimla doesn't have a border or doesn't share a border with Chamba. Chamba is over here and it has a border with Kinnaur, Kullu, Mandi, Solan, Sirmaur, and here also we have Uttarakhand, another state. So that makes the first statement to be incorrect. Then the Satluj River enters India through the Shipkila Pass. That is definitely correct. But it is not in Uttarakhand. Shipkila Pass is over here and it is in Himachal Pradesh, not Uttarakhand. Okay. So I hope you understood that as well. First is incorrect, second is also incorrect. Okay. Then the Gobind Sagar on river Bias has been created by a huge dam at Bhakra. If we talk about it, then the Gobind Sagar dam is created, reservoir is created by the Satluj River and not the Bias River. Bias River is over here. Okay, and the dam we were talking about, hydel dam, that is Bhakra for sure. So first is incorrect, second is incorrect, third is also incorrect because here it is written Bias. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, all three are incorrect, so none will be the correct answer. Next question. A resident and Indian citizen wishes to travel from India to the Black Sea by land route. That means we cannot take air route, we cannot take water route. What is the minimum number of countries one needs to cross in order to reach the destination, we have to exclude India from that. So all details have been given. Now to answer this question, we need the help of this particular map because the question is asking minimum number of countries. First we will go to Pakistan, then we will not go to Afghanistan because the countries have to be minimum. Then we go to Iran. Then we go to Turkey, and finally we reach the Black Sea. So we have avoided many other countries so that the question's purpose is not defeated. We will exclude India, then we go to Pakistan, which is the first country, Iran is the second country, and Turkey or Turkey is the third country. So 3 is going to be the correct answer. Option A here is going to be the correct answer. Moving on. The Andaman and Nicobar Islands are providing exhilarating activities to tourists. And that is why it is important for us to know because tourism culture will begin heavily after this. An island erstwhile named and renamed as Havelock Island, Shaheed Dweep, Ross Island, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose Island, and Neil Island, Swaraj Dweep. So we have to see how many pairs given above is or are correct. To answer this with this, we need the map, and this map is going to show us that Havelock Island, as it was erstwhile known, is now known as Swaraj Dweep. Okay. Neil Island, earlier it was known, and it is now Shaheed Dweep. And here is the Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose Island, which was earlier known as Ross Island. Okay, so I hope you understood that. Havelock Island is renamed as Swaraj Dweep. Neil Island is renamed as Shaheed Dweep. And Ross Island is correctly Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose Dweep or Island. So first and third are incorrect, only the second is correct. One only will be the correct answer over here. Next, India and China are now holding 19th round of military talks at the course commander level because certain areas are still hotly debated. One side is not letting the other patrol this area. Specifically, if we talk about the Daulat Beg Oldie Road, and which is near the Detsang Plains, this, and then we have the Chushul area, which is to the south of the Pangong Tso. I do not at all endorse this map. Also, studyIQ doesn't endorse this map because to show this area, this was the only international narrative map that was available. But this area, entire area, whichever is in dotted or not, it belongs to India from the help of instrument of accession. And these two regions are illegally occupied by Iron Brothers, Pakistan and China. This is not our narrative. The entire Jammu Kashmir and Ladakh belongs to India undisputedly. Moving on. With reference to India-China border dispute, consider the following statements. India shares largest land boundary with China. The main dispute is the middle sector of the LAC. Only 5 states of India share a boundary with China. How many of the statements given above is or are correct? So to answer this question, we need a map. The LAC, the line of actual control, unlike the LOC, is just an idea or a concept because both the countries, India and China, do not agree to a predetermined boundary. This is the biggest reason why we see a lot of fluctuation in the LAC. India says that this region is 3488 kilometers long. But China doesn't say it. China says that the entire Arunachal Pradesh and areas of Ladakh belong to us, which is incorrect. Also, it is divided into 3 sectors. We have the eastern sector, which is Arunachal Pradesh. Then we have the middle sector, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, and Sikkim. And then we have western, which is Ladakh. The western sector is the most controversial and sees the most number of fluctuation transgressions. And the middle sector is mostly which is more calmer and not has many issues between India and China. But the western sector has a lot of issues. So the second statement is definitely not correct. It should be not the middle, but the western and the eastern sector. India shares its largest land boundary with Bangladesh. Second, we have China. And China shares border with India through how many states? 5? No. Let's see with the help of this map. Ladakh is a union territory. Then Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, two states, one union territory. Sikkim, 3 states, Arunachal Pradesh, 4th state. So 4 states and one union territory. All right. Earlier, it could be before the abrogation of Article 370, we could have said yes 5, but no, it's now only 4 states and one union territory. So this is also incorrect. This is also incorrect. This is also incorrect. All three are incorrect. D will be the correct answer. Now let's talk about this particular question, which is a practice question for you. Azerbaijan has an exclave, Nakhchivan, that is separated from the rest of Azerbaijan by which of the following countries? Georgia, Turkey, Iran, Armenia. You have to answer it correctly in the comment segment. That's it. Thank you so much for watching.